What is your dream goal and what does that feel like for you? You have to work backwards on how am I going to get there? You can think about your 5-year plan. I want to be making $100 million a year. But then you have to break it down to what is that 1-year plan? What is that 6-month plan? What am I going to do this quarter? And also, another thing people miss is at each one of those levels, in order to get to that level, you need to understand what does my business need to look like to function at that level and sustain that.
I'm Melanie Barr. Welcome back to the She Built It podcast, your go-to place to empower you to live the life and business that you crave. I'm here to talk about everything from having the courage to make life and career leaps to the details of how to lead effectively, create successful teams, implement strategies for growth, and infuse tech innovation. I'm here to celebrate your wins and navigate through your challenges. I live in the city now, but I grew up in a town of 1,000 people. I've navigated major life leaps, a senior level corporate career, worked in professional sports, and now as a successful entrepreneur who loves business, technology, family, and making meaningful connections with you and the She Built It community. I also love a good workout and dose of self-care. Magic happens when we focus on the part of ourselves and our business that brings us joy. So turn up the audio, open your favorite notes app, grab your favorite drink, and here we go. Welcome back to the She Built It podcast. Thank you for joining us, Courtney. Share with us the journey that led to the creation of Screws and Stilettos and about your marketing like a CMO course.
Sure. I've been in digital marketing for 19 years. I've always focused on Google Ads, analytics, SEO, a little bit of where Screws and Stilettos came from. I do a lot of the nuts and bolts of the work of our projects. My sister and partner, on the other hand, does a lot of the front end facing things, the stiletto. So she does a lot of the design, but then she also handles a lot of the automation. Where it all began was I was in digital agencies. And although I was able to climb the ladder fast and get to where I wanted to be title wise and position wise, it didn't fully align with me because a lot of what it was about taking these big pharmaceutical companies or these huge culinary institutes or whatever it was at the time and roping them into these large monthly retainers, $10,000, $20,000 retainers with the intent, and that could just be for, let's say, just SEO. So nothing more than just your SEO. But what I saw from my perspective was there was only 3 to 4 hours of solid work going into that account every month. And beyond that, it was project management, account management, and then some reporting. And the strategy itself, too, to help enable these companies to be able to do these things or leverage these things across other initiatives wasn't there. It was intended to be gatekept, even when it comes to assets, the website, all that stuff. The agency is naturally, it's a business, but all about securing its pipeline. And in doing so, they essentially handcuff their client to themselves in one way or another, whether that is a lack of transparency about a strategy, a lack of training or informing or guiding a team on how to do it themselves or how they can leverage these things elsewhere, or the ownership of assets and locking them out of being able to do certain things. And beyond the fact that it's like, that's not enabling these businesses. And I just didn't align with that. And then there was also some other moral dilemmas of trying to write ads for prostate cancer drugs to sell drugs to cancer patients, and it didn't match up there. But beyond that, I want to help companies and I want them to succeed. And I loved seeing the positive results. I started to push back at the agency world and try to get them to hand a little more of the reins over, and it didn't sit well. And that's where I realized that I was at the end of where I was going to be in this journey and that there would be a shift. I ended up moving on with my sister. She opened her own small business, grew it to $5 million, all organically. I joined her as an interim president and headed up the marketing team there. And then from there, after growing to about 120 employees, we found ourselves in the same situation of we're not really helping all these people anymore. We've lost a lot of what we get excited about and what makes us great and where our passions are. And that's really in enabling people to do awesome in the business world, whatever their passion is, enabling them to do it and to provide those services or products to other people. So we ended up stepping away from that. And that's where we ended up starting our consultancy. And it ended up being that all of our customers for our consultancy side of thing are all word of mouth. And they all came to us for essentially the same reasons that I left the agency. They were stuck in these agency traps. They don't know how to grow their business and they don't have a solid marketing strategy. They don't know how to implement, and they just think that the only option is to outsource everything. And so our real focus is to bring it all in-house and teach you how you can do it and delegate and leverage people, but using strategies that really work to attract customers, boost sales, and just grow your business, but in a sustainable fashion. No quick fixes.
And it's great that you're helping companies move like a scarab versus move like a ship. And speed of technology today, companies need to know how to do it. They don't necessarily need to do it, but things change so fast. Understand it. Because the pace at the way things move, you can be doing something, but maybe that's not the best thing for you. But you still keep doing it because you don't really know any other options and you don't know how to do it yourself. So it's great that you're empowering businesses with that ability to be able to make those decisions and not keeping them out of it.
There's definitely a place and a time to outsource things for people, but my recommendation is in-house it. So even if if you need some help with, let's say, your social media and growing your social media side of thing, or the engagements or the scheduling posts and all that stuff, find yourself a VA that has some social media experience that you have ownership of, that you can also leverage them to do whatever other tasks that you need. But going to a social agency, on the other hand, that's where a lot of brand identity is lost. That's where a lot of your look and feel is lost. That you can't just say, actually, this isn't working for me. I'm going to switch right now and do all my videos a different way. They're like, oh, we're already like 2 weeks into the next plans. We can't switch, whatever else. So that's where you lose your agility. And as a small business, you need agility. If you only ever want to be chasing your competitors, then go ahead and outsource everything.
I think any business needs that. Because at the pace we live, things can change quickly. And maybe you want to rebrand and do something a little different. Not a complete rebrand, but rebrand your social, like you mentioned, just a little. But you're right. You can get so stuck in that where they're like, no, to do that would be this. And you're right. We need that ability to make those quick movements and changes.
Yeah. And actually, there's a few different companies that we explored for insourcing, essentially activities or responsibilities or tasks that we needed some additional help for. We just only have so much capacity within a day to get all these things done. And we're obviously growing our business as well. But one of them that I found really helpful was somewhere.com. And you can essentially go to them with, I want someone that specializes in HubSpot with 4 to 7 years of experience, and they get you exactly what you want. And our assistant that we have right now is absolutely wonderful. And it's just made such a world of a difference. Every day I give her exactly what we need done. She has our brand's best interests in mind. And I don't feel trapped by anything.
Thank you for sharing that resource, because I've tried certain things where they promise all these things and it doesn't necessarily happen. So if you're having the experience where it's actually happening and you're having a good experience, thank you for sharing that resource.
It is unbelievable. So I am very much of a mindset that if you think about the agency world, when the people that you've outsourced to at these agencies go to sleep at night, they're not thinking about how to grow your business. They're thinking about how to grow their business. And that's what the difference of bringing on independent contractors or assistant or whatever it might be for you, bringing that under your umbrella is the difference of the experience I have right now with this assistant. She was even doing some of our social, and I saw a few comments on there and I screenshot to my sister. I was like, oh, is this you? And she was like, no. And I was like, that was better than I could have said.
Great.
And it's wonderful having someone that really is on your team and has your best interest in mind, provides very valuable feedback, but also sees how everything in your world is connecting. Whereas these agencies, it's very compartmentalized.
Tell us about your course. How does your course help to drive market results that leaders can be proud of and want to share?
So the whole premise of our course is essentially to teach you the simple marketing strategies that we've learned, tested, they're proven. We've leveraged them throughout our combined over 30 years, but teach you the simple marketing strategies that will help your small business attract more customers, boost your sales, and scale at a fast pace, but in a sustainable fashion. And We teach you these things. One of the big differences of our course is beyond the fact that we're teaching you all these techniques, it's very personalized. We give you hands-on consulting sessions to go with it so we can attack your biggest struggles and challenges and really get you on a clear path moving forward. Because that's another thing I find is so often these businesses don't have that path to get them out of the rut that they're in. So we really hone in on that to help give you the smarter path of how to grow your business instead of grabbing at this quick fix and this quick fix and seeing if that's going to work, and really talking about your dialing it back and creating that entire foundation that you need to succeed. So when it gets to a point of something like paid ads, you know that if you turn off those paid ads, your business is still going to thrive and function and drum up new business because you have that foundation in place. Whereas a lot of people jump straight to ads. Although we do go through ads in depth and how to run them efficiently for small businesses, we start with the strategic side of things. What is your mission statement? What is your UVP, your unique value proposition? What is your marketing position? How can you differentiate yourself from competitors to stand out? Then we bring you through the process of, based on your target, where should you be present and how you can effectively be present on those platforms, in those arenas, and get ahead without also throwing your entire wallet into it. So it's really about that enablement of teaching you these things to give you the skills, help you succeed, but also help you build up your own internal team.
It's great that you go that in depth in what the company and the business and the people need, because so often we're pitched things. I was just pitched to work with a recruiter, and I went through one of the conversations and it was like, do you want to buy it? Do you want to buy it? It was like a really heavy sale. And I thought, this is going to be a relationship that's about people, and I'm going to have a relationship with them. And actually, it's hiring people. So to have that heavy pressure, do you want to buy it, without really asking me what I needed? It's great that you're going that in depth, because that's what people need. Because so often today, yes, AI, and we all use ChatGPT and all of the things, but it's so great when a company tries to figure out what you need and what the business needs and really goes in depth to try to make that happen, because that is becoming more unique, unfortunately.
I agree. And thank you for acknowledging that. I really appreciate that. The two biggest things that I really want to find out from people are, what are your struggles and what is your dream goal? And what does that feel like for you? What would that dream feel like for you? And then you have to work backwards on, how am I going to get there? You can think about your 5-year plan. I want to be making $100 million a year. But then you have to break it down to, what is that 1-year plan? What is that 6-month plan? What am I going to do this quarter? And also, another thing people miss is, at each one of those levels, in order to get to that level, you need to understand, what does my business need to look like to function at that level and sustain that? And that's something we've really helped people build, is at 1 year, if you want $10 million and 2,000 people, what does your business need to look like to support even customer service for 2,000 people or onboarding 2,000 people? So it's really not just about, oh, that's a great goal. Yeah, let's help you get there. Let's type in some ads and we're going to just throw some budget at it and we're going to get you a bunch of leads. But it's about creating that business structure that is, again, sustainable, that will enable that growth in the future and enable you to get to those goals, but in a way that your business will be fully supported when you get there.
Magic happens when we focus on the part of our business and ourself that brings us joy. We've talked a lot about business today. What is one thing that you do to make sure that you find and live your joy?
I like to be outside. Every year for my birthday, I'm not a big birthday person, but I have 2 things I want every year for my birthday: to be outside in nature and a watermelon. That's it. I really value health. I've been plant-based for about 10 years at this point, but it's really health and nature. And I want to be outside. I want to be with my kids, my family, the people I love. I love to go for runs. I haven't done enough of it lately, but it's not even about the run. It's about that fresh air. And it's about seeing that beautiful view, breathing in the grass smell. Like it's really just about the light and the nature and surrounding yourself with love.
I hear you. The running is my meditation too. You feel so much better when you come back.
In our previous business, when I didn't have a lot of time to run. We had beds in our office, and sometimes we stayed there for 2 weeks at a time because it would be wedding season, and it was a wedding rental and custom fabrication business. When I would hit a block of like, how are we going to solve this problem? I would either do one of two things. I'd go for a 30-minute run and it would come to me, or I'd take a 10-minute nap and it would come to me.
Thank you for joining us today. Can you share with us how and where we can find you?
Sure. We offer 20-minute solutions calls to get you started on your path forward. And you can book one of those on marketlikeacmo.com/CMO-solutions. And then you can also find us on Instagram at marketlikeacmo.
Thank you for joining us today. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me at hello@shebuiltit.com on our She Built It website or at She Built It on social. Thank you to my editor, Rich Streffolino, who always makes us sound good. Until next time, let nothing stop you from experiencing the life and business that you crave.